Welcome to Mark Langley's Horsemanship Podcast, a podcast helping you to provide solutions for your horse training in a calm, connected way. I'm Jenny Langley, and with me is Mark Langley, a global leader in emotive horse training. This week, breaking down the training needed to help an 8-year-old gelding who tries to bite when his owner asks for a yield. Okay, Mark, so we're just going to look at this one question this week. We're just going to nut it out so you can give some ideas of where this owner needs to begin to help this horse. I'll read the scenario to you. So it's an 8-year-old standardbred gelding off the track who's a really nice horse, but quite dominant. He can be in your face, extremely nosy and curious with everything. His owner, Gail, is bringing him back into saddle work, but she's finding that when she asks him to do something like backing up a few steps or asking him to move his hind around, he'll try to bite her. She'd like to know what should she do when he goes to do this. He's a bit of a nipper generally, and she's tried various ways to try and stop him. So, Mark, can you just enlighten us on what area she needs to work on? What sort of training tips have you got for her?
To personal space and awareness and the ability to yield, like not yield the butt round and stuff like that so much, not push the hindquarters over, all that sort of stuff, but just be aware of where your space is and just a soft awareness. Like I had a horse at just the recent clinic, and he, the owner's getting in a fight with him all the time because it seems like they're always in friction, and he's kind of eased back, and we just worked on awareness of the lead rope and awareness of where we are and the horse of being aware of themselves and more centered. And I said to her, just because she's getting so worn down because it's like feels like a grind every day, and and I said he is a tough horse, wear you down because he's got thick skin, like he's very has no caution, but he's also worn down the other horses too. She said, oh, he's worn down the other horse. They just kind of just put up with him now, but so he's got his way with the other horses that they just put up with him, but he hasn't had to change for them to put up with him, whereas in a bigger, stronger herd, that horse would have had to change for those horses to put up with him. And because he hasn't changed, then I said, we have to change him a little bit. You can't just kind of keep him the way he is, because otherwise he will just be a paddock ornament that you'll never work because of that, the way he is. So going back to your horses, work on something, one thing, and master it. And that's what we did with this horse. Just stand quietly with awareness. If we're moving somewhere and walking, you're aware of where we're walking. You can yield softly away. Now, I don't go in and chase the horses and send my energy into them. I just carry a flag, and I'll shake the flag in front of them a bit when that personal space is close, and I'll stand still while they do it, and they'll step away a bit, and then I'll just continue walking through until, no matter where I'm going, if I'm backing or walking somewhere, the horse is giving space and aware of my space, and they're soft. They just stand softly. And if you have to keep doing it for day after day till your horse is soft and he's aware of it, well, keep doing it. Don't do a little bit of it and then go, now can I do the lead stuff and get back in a fight? And I think that was what was happening with this other little horse. It was, you do a bit, then you go into something else and go into something else, and all of a sudden everything's a bit sticky and you haven't really made any progress, and he finishes the lesson. And that's what she said. She said, every time I finish the lesson, he's same soundness as when he came in, whereas at the clinic, he finished the lessons soft and aware, not whinnying to the mate and all this sort of stuff, because all we did was work on, you have to be soft and aware. It sounds simple, but it is difficult, but it is more simple if you only do one thing. So, one of the lessons was be aware of the rope. I'm going to put a feel in that rope, and when the horse wasn't aware of it, I just put a bump in the rope, and then the horse went, well, what was that? And then I put a feel in the rope, and when I saw the horse blink and think and look like it was going to search, I said, thank you, that's all I wanted. Whereas what's happening with your horse, you would be up close putting a feel on the rope, and it becomes a fight, and the horse goes, why are you wrestling me like that? And then they start nipping and biting and all that sort of stuff. So you don't have to be close to them to put an awareness in the rope. You just sort of might be 3 feet away. You push the rope across, pick up the knot. You'll see the knot just lift a little. And if they're like, they're just, and there's nothing happening, go bump. And I'll go, what was that? And after third, fourth, fifth go, when you put a feel in it, you'll see them moving and rocking and going, maybe I've got to do something with that. And then you push them across, or you kind of lead them across if they search. You've got to really watch for that and feel for that with those horses, and don't ask a lot, just expect a lot. I expect you to be responsible and search and look and step a little bit. Asking a lot is, I want you to go around on a circle around me like that while the horse is still heavy. And that's where we get in a lot of trouble. And spending a week or two doing very small things with a high level of accuracy is going to be very advantageous, because you're not doing a lot and enough to sour the horse, and the horse gets so light that actually they're not in the friction. So because they're not in the friction in the fight, it's not a fight between you and them. They just start to search and follow a feel. So personal space, make sure that they're aware of it and they are able to yield, knowing that your energy is quite important, and it's not, I'm angry because you're pushing me around. It's just that I give you space. So I call that supermarket etiquette. We teach our horses supermarket etiquette. If I'm going over there to pick up the baked beans and you're standing there on your telephone, you'll notice me coming and go, oh, sorry, I'll move out of the way so you can get the baked beans. I would do that for someone else. I shouldn't have to go and push someone out of the way so I can get the baked beans. That's not good supermarket etiquette, okay? But most people know when someone's going somewhere and they give them space. So what we teach our horses is supermarket etiquette. I'm going to pick up that rope off the fence. I'm walking in a straight line. You're kind of crossing my line a little bit, and I'll stop at the point where they're not sure about knowing how to move, and I'll just put the flag out in front and I'll say, can you just back off a little bit? And they'll back off the flag. So it's almost like you're sweeping the leaves off the veranda out of the way, then you walk through. You don't just push them out of the way as you're walking, because that goes back to bad supermarket etiquette. So you just walk through, they step out of the way, and get that relationship with your horse that they give you space and they know that they have to do that, but they're not troubled about it. And some people have these kind of, I don't know, these agreements with their horses that I don't want to be too bossy with you, and it's kind of like this. But at the end of the day, a horse doesn't mind giving space to a person. They just don't want to be pushed around and chased around and pushed down the pecking order. And also, just having kids around horses, small people around horses, anyone, our space is more important, and they have to give way to us. So whichever way we walk, we're on the through road and they're on the give way road. That's basically, that's traffic etiquette. So supermarket etiquette, traffic etiquette. So, imagine I'm going along the through road, the horse is coming this way, but it has to stop at the give way line because I'm going through like this. And so if I change directions with my shoulders, no matter which way I go, it puts the horse on the give way road, and they have to give way when I walk through. But I'm not going to drive into them to make them move out of the way. And I know that's a lot of stuff just to sort of work on you leading your horse out and around you, but that mindset in your horse, when it becomes soft and pliable, they become a lot more pliable to be able to guide, because they're more in a giving kind of frame of mind instead of I'm fighting pressure all the time frame of mind. And then when you lead them out, they're more likely to step out.
That's so interesting. So when you're getting a horse to move away from you, there's this particular way that you do it, like, whether you're getting them to back up, but you're getting them to go out of place. Can you just explain how you do that? Because usually you have a flag or something, don't you? Well,
yeah, the reason I have a flag, so people come to my clinic and go, geez, you're teaching me the opposite of what I learnt for the last 10 years. And I'm like, well, I used to do the opposite and it didn't work, so I figured it's easy to do the opposite and it might work. So some people see what I do as, how do you think of all that stuff? And I go, well, I don't have to think of anything. All you have to do is the opposite of what's wrong. And you don't have to think of it. Someone else already invented what was wrong. You just got to figure out the opposite. which is, I know it's a bit silly, but sometimes I'll be doing exactly the opposite of what that horse has been taught. So one of those opposites that I do quite commonly is when I'm walking quietly or I'm standing still and I'm really relaxed, I'm powerful. Whereas the opposite was when I pick my energy up and I pick up my energy and I am important, you will see me as important and you will yield. Well, when I'm walking around really quiet and I want to go and get the baked beans off the shelf, can you give me space? Not, I'm going to muscle through there with my energy and you give me space. So that's an opposite. Most people are taught pick your energy up, move your horse. And I say keep your energy low and move your horse. Why? Is because most people that get run over by their horses are usually getting run over when they're standing there quietly. That's when a horse pushes you. So there's no point in getting big to push them back because when you're little, you don't mean anything. So I'm trying to walk around my horse and they see me as quiet and relaxed, but I have a very powerful bubble around that quiet space. Because I'm quiet and relaxed, they don't see me as a threat. So how do I make my bubble when I'm quiet and relaxed? Well, that's why I use a flag to start with, as I just walk quietly. And when the horse doesn't realize, I just go shake the flag a bit like that. And they go, oh, what's that? I'll move back. And then I just quietly walk through. And what happens after so many goes? But I stop when the horse moves back because obviously, for the people that are listening on podcasts, they won't see this, but just the people watching the video, if you walk into your horse as you're backing it, you're not giving, your horse can't give you space because you're following its space all the time. But if you stop and do something that creates the horse to move backwards, then the horse is given space. So then what they did gave space very quickly, so they achieved it very easily. When people push their horses like that, the horse is trying to give space, but we're always moving into it all the time. So you stop, get the horse to give space, and then you continue your journey. So you're not threatening, you're not pushing them. And it doesn't take very long for that horse for you to have that nice electric bubble that when you walk through, the horse just gently gives you space as you go through, but you're quiet about it. And then when you're standing still, that bubble still works. So that gives you that safety bubble, gives you the horse a yielding frame of mind, and it doesn't feel threatened because you're just walking through very quietly.
Why is the horse nipping in the first place?
Well, because it's I poke you and you poke me sort of scenario. They don't like pressure on their nose. So when you put pressure on their nose and you fiddle with their nose and they don't understand what to do, they just feel pressure on their nose and you're coming at them with your hand and then they go, and they just bite at it. They don't like you in their personal space. They don't like a whole bunch of things. And there's a whole bunch of reasons why horses can start to nip and bite. But basically, when a horse is in friction and doesn't understand something and it doesn't find the answer, then it stays in friction. So it gets a bit sour to it and can get defensive. So by getting it soft and aware first and then aware of the rope, and you don't ask it a lot of questions, you just get it to do little things, then it's not in friction. It's searching for the answer, not just looking at pressure coming at it going, I don't know what to do. And then they sort of stop biting because there's an alternative. So horse training is offering a horse an alternative from what's happening currently that's maybe negative. So, if a horse is biting a little bit, or I'll just sort of push on the rope a bit and say, well, don't bite, but you could look over there and step over there instead. And they go, oh, well, I'll do that instead. So I've just taught it, instead of biting, do this instead. So then they're not fighting. But if I just worked the pressure in a way that the horse just kept thinking on the pressure that I was providing, it'd stay a fight forever. Hence why when you start to work on leading, you're actually getting your horse to think over there, not think at you and the pressure, because the horses that keep thinking at you and the pressure will always fight for longer, because when they look over there, they stop thinking about you and the pressure. They're looking about where they're looking at where they might be going. So then it becomes an opportunity instead of a threat.
Any other tips for her other than personal space?
Well, she has to watch the leading videos. It's too hard to explain every little thing that she needs to do. I mean, the rope skills, how she holds the rope, the heels hoist lesson is just holding the horse out till it softens, all those lessons. But if you don't firm up enough when the horse kind of presses, so I guess the thing is, this might be one of the biggest tips you might need to know, I think, is when you put a feel in that rope and you are close to your horses to back them up or do anything like that, when I put a feel on that knot, I go to back up, I ask quietly, if that horse goes, I'm going to fight that, I'll firm up a fair bit, and then the horse will go, and I'll step it back once, and then I'll loosen up, let my hand off a little bit, and then I'll say, now, I'm going to ask you softly to back up. Where people get in a fight is they go pushing back, I'm pushing back, and the horse starts biting, and they keep pushing and pushing and pushing, and the horse is biting. I'll firm up more and make the step happen, and then disappear a little bit, let the horse think and say, now I'm going to try again. Can you go softly? So I'm sort of saying fighting's not available. Fighting's not available. Try again. Fighting's not available. Try again. And then on the third or fourth try, they go, I might try something different and go backwards. I'm not trying to bang them or hit them for biting or anything like that. I'm just putting enough pressure there to say that's not available, and I get something in the opposite direction, which is a bit of a try. Or I make something happen a little bit like a movement, and then the second or third go, that's when I start to get the try because the horse is trying something different. Sometimes I might bang a flag on my leg when the horse gets a bit funny, because I'd say the biting's because of the irritation, not finding the answer, opposed to other problems.
So let's start off here and see where it takes us. Well, you've given out a lot of answers anyway, and a lot of suggestions, training tips there to help. I hope that is useful to you, Gail, and to anyone else listening out there who's got a horse that occasionally nips them and perhaps might want to just improve the horse's awareness of personal space. Sounds like something that leads to many other things, and it's just a great foundation to work on anyway. We'll leave it there for this week. Thank you so much for that information, Mark, and we will talk to you again soon.
Thank you, Jenny. Thank you, everybody.
If you enjoyed this podcast, please like it, share it, or send us a comment. It all helps in reaching new ears and helping more horses. And if making a change in your horse appeals to you, Mark offers his direct support and a diverse learning platform. Head to marklangley.com.au and grab your 7-day free trial.